Today, it is indeed an honor as well as a privilege for me to be here with you all and to say a few words in conjunction with the launching of the book entitled Anwar Returns, The Final Twist, the prosecution and release of Anwar Ibrahim, written by Mr. Mark Trowell. For this honor and privilege, I must express my gratitude to our host, Institute Darul Ihsan. At the outset, may I say that it is today a privilege to meet for the first time Mr. Mark Trowell, whom I've always admired for his writings on the trials of Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim. Mr. Trowell has taken the noble effort to put in writing the entire episode of Datuk Sri Anwar's persecution while this country was still ruled by the previous administration. This book is a further revised and updated edition of a book on the entire account of how Datuk Sri Anwar was oppressed under the previous administration for about 20 years, from September 1998 to his release in May 2018. Mr. Trowell is a leading criminal lawyer in Australia. He was appointed Queen's Counsel in the year 2000, besides acting as a defense counsel in numerous high-profile criminal cases. He has also prosecuted criminal cases for the Director of Public Prosecutions in Australia. In the year 2006, Mr. Trowell was appointed by the Australian government to undertake a review of the coercive legislation governing the Australian Crime Commission. Coupled with his vast experience in the field of criminal justice, the fact that Mr. Trowell had been the international observer at the trial and appeal proceedings of Datuk Sri Anwar simply makes him the ideal legal person to write on and to comment what has taken place. Previous to the present book, Mr. Trowell has published, to his credit, 2 best-selling books, namely, number 1, Sodomy 2, The Trials of Anwar Ibrahim, published in the year 2012, and number 2, The Prosecution of Anwar Ibrahim, The Final Play, published in the year 2015. In this edition of the book, Mr. Trowell has covered so painstakingly, so eloquently, and in minute details the latest development of Datuk Sri Anwar's ordeal, including his release on 16 May 2018, his audience with His Majesty, the Yang Dipertuan Agong, and more importantly, the grant of royal pardon. A remarkable observation that I wish to express here is that Mr. Trowell, in writing his book, endeavors to be exhaustive, succinct, and objective. Ladies and gentlemen, this book is a must-read for those who wish to learn explicitly about Datuk Sri Anwar's prosecution, or more aptly, persecution. Implicitly, we will learn of Datuk Sri Anwar's vision for this country, his character, and the principles he holds on to. For the law students and legal practitioners, you may be particularly interested in Mr. Trowell's commentary on the judgments made by the judges. What he has to say in his book is most revealing. Certain parts of the book are very disturbing, yet crucial to read, particularly when Mr. Trowell deals with the injustices inflicted upon Datuk Sri Anwar by the courts or by the prosecution. For example, about the refusal of the prosecution to provide the defense substantial pre-trial disclosure, or about the manner the Court of Appeal, in a disgraceful manner, rushed through the hearing of the prosecution's appeal against Datuk Sri Anwar's acquittal by the High Court, and about how even a request by Datuk Sri Anwar for time to make a plea in mitigation made to his counsel, the late Mr. Karpal Singh, was unreasonably denied by the Court of Appeal. The reading of chapter 24 tells us how the federal court in the year 2015, in coming to its decision, had rejected and ignored evidence that raised serious doubts about the credibility of the complainant and the reliability of the evidence upon which the prosecution relied. Even a first-year law student will know that it is elementary law that the standard of proof in a criminal case is beyond reasonable doubt. Applying that principle, Datuk Sri Anwar should have been acquitted, as there were serious doubts raised by the defense. But anyone who follows closely Datuk Sri Anwar's trials and appeal will be left perplexed, for as if the Court of Appeal or the federal court was unable to comprehend what beyond a reasonable doubt really means. Ladies and gentlemen, pages 356 to 359 of the book relate to a touching but hard-hitting speech that was delivered in the federal court by Datuk Sri Anwar on the 10th of February 2015. In the interest of time, I shall share with you, members of the audience, parts of the speech which I find especially resonating. This speech was delivered in court immediately after Datuk Sri Anwar's appeal was dismissed by the federal court. With your permission, may I take the liberty to reproduce now the important parts of the speech, and I quote, "I maintain my innocence of this foul charge. This incident never happened. This is a complete fabrication coming from a political conspiracy to stop my political career. You have not given proper consideration to the case presented by my counsel from day one, and that this incident never happened at all. It is not a coincidence how the PM was able to release a full written statement on your decision barely minutes after you handed your judgment today, even before sentencing. In bowing to the dictates of the political masters, you have become partners in crime for the murder of judicial independence and integrity. You have sold your souls to the devil, buttering your conscience for material gain and comfort and security of office. Yes, you have passed this judgment on me, and I will, again for the third time, walk into prison. But rest assured, my head will be held high. The light shines on me." But the shame is on you, for you will be judged by history as the great cowards of humanity. Sitting on that high horse of judicial power, you have stooped so low to become the underlings of the political masters. Students of law and professors of jurisprudence will scrutinize your judgments, and as they dissect your reasoning and your decision, your credibility and integrity will be torn to tatters, and you will be exposed as a fraudsters who don the robe of judicial power only to pervert the cause of justice. Going to jail, I consider a sacrifice I make for the people of this country. I fought most of my life on behalf of the people of this country. For the people, I'm willing to go to jail or face any other consequence. My struggle will continue, whatever I'm sent and whatever is done to me. And Allah is my witness. I pledge, and I will not be silenced. I will fight on for freedom and justice, and I will never surrender. Unquote. For me, ladies and gentlemen, the above speech is inspiring, and it sums up what Mr. Travel's book is all about. Having said the above, I must congratulate Mr. Travel for his excellent book, one which I believe will attract a lot of readers who are interested in the trials of Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim and who believes in the cause of justice. Mr. Mark Travel, thank you for writing this book, and I wish you all the best. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my belief that never before has anyone in this country been so ruthlessly persecuted and publicly humiliated as what Datuk Sri Anwar had endured. But Datuk Sri Anwar had patiently persevered. That was extremely, indeed unbelievably, a remarkable feat. As Datuk Sri Anwar was innocent and the trial was a sham, ultimately Datuk Sri Anwar has emerged victorious. Let Mr. Travel's book serve as a salutary reminder to all Malaysians that the law and government machinery shall never ever be used as a tool by the powerful to oppress dissent or political opponents. Datuk Sri Anwar's ordeal was a product of a government that does not have an effective system of check and balance, that does not have a truly independent and honest judiciary, and a system that only pays lip service to the letter and spirit of the Federal Constitution and the rule of law. It was a great shame to the nation, a dark stain on our nation's history, which has impacted not only Datuk Sri Anwar, his family and friends, but everyone who believes in justice and human rights. But life must proceed ahead. The peaceful transition of power on the 9th and 10th of May signifies a new beginning, a new dawn for our beloved country. It is now up to the new leadership to chart the course of our country's future. we have to learn from the colossal and costly mistakes of the past. We, as a nation, must ensure that the grave injustices which had been inflicted upon Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim must never ever be allowed to happen to any citizen of this country again. Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim, I look forward to you becoming our 8th Prime Minister. May Allah bless you and your family. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.